So I spent a solid, I don't know, 20 minutes yesterday hopelessly trying to untangle a drawer full of old charging cables
Oh,
and
okay.
headphones. Yeah, it was maddening, just a massive plastic knot.
We've all been there.
Right. But as I was wrestling with all that plastic and copper, it actually got me thinking about the irony of it.
How so?
Our struggle with modern chords is so frustrating. But thousands of years ago, the ancient Incas were literally running a vast empire using a highly organized system of knotted strings.
That's a great comparison.
Yeah, so for this deep dive, we are exploring the provided sources on the quipu, or quipu, depending on the spelling,
Right.
the ingenious record-keeping system of the Andes. Our mission today is really to uncover how human innovation thrives in the most surprising, brilliant ways.
I love that. It's such an optimistic topic to explore because it really highlights the resilience of human intellect.
Completely.
When you look at these vibrant cotton and camelid fiber cords, which are, threads spun from woven llama or alpaca hair, you are looking at a masterclass in early problem solving.
Yeah, they aren't just strings.
No, this was a highly advanced information technology. It managed the logistics of an entire civilization.
Okay, let's unpack this, because it's so much more sophisticated than just tying a string around your finger to remember to buy milk.
Way more.
The sources detail that the Incas used a base 10 positional math system.
Yes.
Now, we're familiar with base 10, obviously, but without a written language, how exactly did they physically represent complex numbers? Or even something as conceptual as a zero on a piece of string?
That is where the engineering is just brilliant. The physical knots represented specific numbers based entirely on their shape and their position on the hanging cord.
So the placement mattered just as much as the knot itself.
Exactly. For example, they used long knots with multiple twists to signify the numbers 2 through 9, and a special figure-8 knot represented 1.
Well,
Well, you asked about the 0, and that is perhaps the most elegant part. They used a deliberately empty space on the cord to represent a 0.
an empty space.
Yes, an intentional void holding positional value.
That is incredible. Just leaving a precise gap to maintain the mathematical structure.
What's fascinating here is the sheer skill of the people who operated this system, the quipucamayocs,
The knot specialists.
the official knot specialists and accountants of the empire. According to historical sources, their tactile literacy was so advanced they could reportedly read the knots with their eyes closed.
Just by touch.
Just by feeling the spacing and the tension, they calculated everything from massive population censuses to tax obligations without a single written word.
Speaking of data management, transitioning from ancient data to modern needs, this deep dive is sponsored by Embersilk. Need help with AI training or automation or integration or software development? Uncovering where agents could make the most impact for your business or personal life. Check out embersilk.com for AI needs.
It really puts into perspective how long we've been trying to organize our world.
It really does. But we aren't just looking at ancient accounting here. Here's where it gets really interesting for me.
Oh, the language aspect.
Yes. The sources say these chords might actually encode language, not just math.
They absolutely do. Analysts recently found a very specific sequence of 3 figure-8 knots at the start of certain quipus.
And what did that sequence mean?
Well, they realized it acted essentially like a ZIP code for the ancient city of Puruchuco.
Wow.
It was a localized identifier woven right into the data.
A physical ZIP code. That completely reframes how we should look at these artifacts.
It does. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, we are essentially looking at a 3-dimensional, binary-like coding system.
Binary like modern computers.
Much like modern computer code, yes. Information wasn't just stored in the knot itself, but in how the thread was spun, or whether a knot was tied to the left, an S knot, or tied to the right, which is a Z knot.
Left to right orientation.
Right, which is fundamentally a binary choice of ones and zeros crafted by human hands.
Which perfectly explains why modern data scientists are so captivated by this today. I know the sources mentioned the Open Quipu repository.
Yes, where researchers are actively decoding these algorithms, they've already digitized over 700 quipus.
That's a huge data set.
It is. Researchers around the world are applying modern machine learning to spot patterns in those S knots and Z knots. It bridges ancient ingenuity with modern technology perfectly.
I love that.
And what is truly uplifting is that these chords are not just museum artifacts. They are preserved in modern Andean villages like Tupacocha and Rapaz.
Still be used today.
Yes, actively used in ceremonies as powerful living symbols of heritage and moral authority.
It is so inspiring to see how that knowledge endures. So what does this all mean for us as we navigate our own information age?
This raises an important question for you to consider. We live in an incredible era of digital information, but these ancient woven algorithms have survived beautifully for centuries in the physical world.
Right.
It makes you wonder what ordinary, everyday physical objects around us right now might brilliantly hold the data of our lives for future generations to decode.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to the show. Hey, leave us a 5-star review if you can. It really does help get the word out. Thanks for tuning in.